Good morning, viewers. Good to be back here again. Like you know, we are here every Saturday morning. This is the Property Gang show. And like you also know, you can view us on channel 112 on Go TV. This is R2 TV. My name is Peacemaker Dada. Like you know, I'm not always in the studio alone. I'm in the studio with my gang members. Alex, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you today?
Bless God.
The way you pulled that down, I thought you wanted to give me a punch.
No, I'm already feeling that Joshua thing in me already.
Oh, yeah. But you know the way to the ring now. Also in the studio, we have Chudi Kalu. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you today?
I'm doing great.
Always looking sharp.
I have to.
How do you do it? After all, you are not Joshua.
I'm not Joshua.
And of course, we have my learned colleague in the house, our admirable, our admirable and our fantastic lawyer in the house.
Thank you very much.
Barrister Victor.
Thank you so very much.
Good morning. How are you today?
Very well. It's good to be here this morning.
I was going to tell you why you walked into the studio that you were also looking sharp.
Thank you so
Is
very
there
much.
one better today?
No. You just have to look sharp.
You just have to look sharp.
Yes.
At least if not for nothing, you have to look sharp for madam.
Yeah,
It's important. That's the most important too.
Okay, today we'll be discussing 5 top places to invest in Lagos State. You don't want to miss it. At the same time, we'll also be discussing on the reasons why you need to invest in these places. But we won't do that. We'll quickly go on a short break, and when we come back, we'll take it one after the other, and then we'll tell you the reason why we are saying these places are the top 5 places to invest. Welcome back. Remember, I said earlier that we are going to be discussing on top 5 places to invest in Lagos State. And like I said, we are going to be moving into that right away with the gang members. But then I like to quickly ask a question. What are the things that determines one involvement in investing in a particular area?
Okay.
Let me start with you, Judy.
Okay. Majorly from research works and all that, you would realize that commercial activity drives real estate. Okay. Where, especially in Lagos, where commercial activities are in good, they're booming. It's booming. You find out that real estate thrives within those axes. The reason for the maybe areas like Victoria Island topping the list is because of the commercial activity within that axis too. Lagos Island is also another one where you have maybe the Dumont and the likes. You can't compare the per bedroom rate in terms of rental income compared to maybe some other areas within Lagos, and you begin to wonder, well, it's supposed to be infrastructure, maybe where you have some other stuff. No, it is not usually like that. It is where you have serious commercial activity that tend to drive real estate to the top. So, and because people like to live where they work, so we also drive the rental value for that particular area.
Rental services. Yeah. Okay, Alex, what are the things that drives one involvement in investing in a particular location?
To me, I think it's more of, will I say, looking at where the government are going. I want to feel that if anybody wants to invest in a particular area, you need to look at what direction they are going to. If the government is going to the south, there's a tendency that the south is it. If they are going to the west, there's a tendency that the west it is. There must be a reason for it, obviously. Now, they could call it political reason, but I'm very certain that there are certain reasons why this happened. It could be because he said something about commercial. It could be the government has some commercial interest in a particular area. For instance, we know that anything at the water level and any land close to the water, you know, it's always very prime. And there's always a reason why the government are always having stuff like that. And that's one of the reasons why Eco Atlantic happens to be the most expensive area, real estate area in Lagos right as it is. And that is because of it. You'll be wondering why not Banana Island anymore? That's the same reason. And that is it. So if you look at where governments are going, those places, particularly because of the commercial reasons that they have, you'll be in it.
I totally agree, because I remember that most people didn't understand Lekki axis for a very long time until the government set up Lekki scheme phase 1. And then this is almost 20 years and it's almost like there's no land again in that axis. So I'm going to throw the same question to you, Barrister Victor. What are the things that gets one involved to say, let me invest in this particular area?
Yes, I totally want to agree with Alex and Judy, because there's no way there's no way investment in land would drive or would be increased without commercial activity in that area. Secondly, the presence of government also counts so much in that area. So the combination of those two will make an area boom. There are no two ways about it. The presence of commercial activity and government presence makes the place boom. That's as simple as that.
Sometimes the presence of commercial activity, is it determined by the government or is it determined by the individuals?
No, not necessarily. I don't believe it's determined. It could be, it's neither here nor there, you know, because one, if there are facilities in an area, which of course is going to be placed by government, definitely people will tend to move towards that area. And another instance is that some people take it upon themselves to put the facilities in place. There are a lot of places in Lekki, for instance, in Nigeria that don't have drainage. You know, the inroads are even bad, terribly bad. Apart from the major road that the government has done, the government just opened the place up and people started moving in. But those inroads, most of them are developed or constructed by community efforts. So
the associations.
Exactly. So that's why I say it's neither here nor there. Government presence at times drives the forces there, and at times people take it upon themselves if they see that the place is, you know, good, it has a future.
Okay, can one argue this, that even if the government does not have a concentration in a particular location, is it possible for one to still move one investment in that particular location?
Of course. Like I think I will take it from where Victor started. He concluded. It's not usually governments who will initiate certain maybe value appreciation in terms of real estate and all that. Sometimes it could also be as a result of maybe people taking it upon themselves to do certain things. So government has a major role, but it's not totally dependent on government for value of property to go up. Like there are certain areas within Lagos, the Lagos axis, maybe the Koto axis, when people started migrating towards that end. You know, sometimes some people can be faster than the government, and before you know it, the government now realize that, oh, there's a major hub here. Like for example, let's talk about, we will look at maybe the computer village, for example. You understand? So some people came together, and before you know it, now you are asking them to move away from that place, but the property value around that axis has even skyrocketed. Let us even take maybe value for maybe you own a car park within that axis. You know how much you could be generating on a daily basis from just that. So you don't necessarily have to even build a house, or just to have a space whereby you can generate smaller income. So there are certain things that can drive this. It may not necessarily have to do with government, but where you have commercial activity or where there's a prospect for commercial activity, real estate will always thrive, especially in Lagos. And because you know, Lagos happens to be the commercial destination for this nation, so it tends to be the major driving force for real estate anywhere around.
Okay, I quickly want to ask Alex, what are some of those commercial places that we have in Lagos that has been driving some of this investment?
Judy mentioned some parts, like you mentioned the Khartoum and then that axis itself. Yes, the truth is this: there's been some commercial activity there and a very little government presence. And that is why I want to agree with him on those certain things. There are also places like the Badagry axis that is also very promising now. You know, there's also axis like Ikorodu, who seems every day by day is expanding. You know, I know there's a phase 1 of Ikorodu, there's also 2 and 3 there about making it grow. You know, it's expanding. But there was a time it wasn't like that. And that is, you see how promising that place is. We also have places like the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, you know, the emergence of the Magodo phase 1, they call Shangisha, now has moved to phase 2. Now we have, what they call it again, now we have Otedola Estate, and it's going even beyond the water, the Lagos shore, moving into the Arepo, the Sherry. Now, that is an offshoot of that. The same thing is happening in the this other axis, Abulegba axis, with the advent of, not just because of the bridge. Now, that was before the bridge came into being in Abulegba. You see people migrate from Abulegba, Agege, moving towards Songwe and Imero and Co. Now, that place is so habitable. Now, it tells you that whether government comes there or not, people will still do anyway. Yeah. So it's just that government may have to catch up with them. And that is what is happening also currently now in those axes. Just that a little bit different is what we have in Lekki. And I think it's because of what you said earlier about the government scheme, the Lekki Phase 1, that was what orchestrated every other one. Maybe just imagine if government had never started the Phase 1. Maybe people would not have, maybe people would have thought about it, maybe now. But that was 20 years ago.
No, maybe Ekpe will not even be in Lagos map.
Probably, because
probably we will not have even heard of Lekki.
Exactly, because that road really, you know, like I said, I'm sorry, like I said earlier, that road is like an opener of that axis. You know,
he actually brought everything about that axis.
Yes. And to further buttress what Judy said earlier, you know, the influx of people into Lagos, it's at an alarming rate. You know,
400,000
exactly annually. Wow. About 400,000 annually. Wow. That's just on the average. Could be more annually.
That's
so
huge.
That's why I said government, like Alex too said, government would at times need to, you know, catch up with some areas.
Yeah.
You know, because I knew some time ago when people started migrating to places like Ikotun, government didn't even want to go there. Sincerely, the government didn't want to go there, but when they saw the Ikotun demo axis, in fact, the votes that they generated from that axis alone made them now feel that we have to concentrate on this place. You know, so at times, you know, it's a 50-50 thing. It could be the government and it could be the commercial activities.
Okay, I was going to ask another question, but first of all, let me quickly say congratulations to Lagos State. The governor of the state commissioned 3 projects during the week: the Aja Bridge, the Abulegba Bridge, and
the Admiralty Freedom Road.
The Freedom Road, Admiralty Road in Lekki Phase 1. Yeah. And I've not seen the Abulegba. I've seen the Aja Bridge. I've seen the Lekki Phase 1 project. Fantastic. Awesome. At the same time, the governor also commissioned a project in Ojodu-Bega, which is now renamed after him, by the way. It's now called Ojodu Ambody.
No longer Ojodu-Bega.
No longer Ojodu-Bega. I think I will visit there today so that I can know how beautiful. By the way, I used to stay in that area for some funny reason. I had to run because of some of the challenges that the governor had just come to resolve. Barrister, I was going to ask you, what are the legal implications that one needs to watch out for investing in a particular area or location?
Yeah, like I often say, the properties there are always tagged to someone. Either if it's an empty land, either the original landowners, popularly known as homeowners, or somebody had bought from them. So the first thing is for one to get the property from the right source, from the owner, so to say.
But how do you know that? How do you know you are getting that from the owner?
Like I've said, I think on this show that at times you need to engage professionals in that field, you know, so that you will not fall into the wrong hands, you know. But I will quickly say that for you to know who the owner is, it's not a hard and fast, you know, there's no hard and fast route to it. The land is not in isolation. There are people around that you can ask from, particularly if you're not sure that it is this family or that family that owns that area. Particularly when you don't have anything on it. But if there's a gazette, for instance, or a registered title, it makes it easy. You can go and do your search at the land registry to know that this land or this area has been given to or it's owned by so and so persons. So it's not a thing that you think, I like the face of this man, he must be telling the truth. No, you need to do your due diligence to know that you're dealing with the right person or persons.
Outside that, is there any other thing to watch out for?
Legally. Legally, you need to at least visit the property. particularly when it's not a, in fact, even if it's a built area, you still need to visit and know exactly what it has, what they say they have there. You know, because a visit to the site or to the property will show some things that, you know, papers might not show. You know, you need to know exactly if the place is built or what kind of development has been going on in the area or on the particular land or property you're buying. You know, so after those are the first things that one needs to do. You know, buying from the right source and knowing exactly what you're buying. You know, at least that gives room for, you know, other things. Okay,
Chudi, I was going to come to you as a property investor. What are the things to watch out for before you do your investment to say, okay, I want to invest in this property? Okay,
basically, it depends on what exactly I want to do with that property.
Okay.
If I want to sell houses, for example, especially when it comes to Lagos, property in Ikeja, when it comes to the mainland, exceed other areas. But when it comes to rental property, areas like Mushin exceed areas like Ikeja. Now, when it also comes to land, I think Lamudi made one research in 2015 or so. When it comes to land, I want to buy land in Lagos. The most sought after land in Lagos currently is in Ikorodu. Their properties are Ikorodu property. Now, it depends on what I have as resources and what exactly I want to do. Now, because I know that if I'm going to sell a house, I need to be able to have deep pockets for me to be able to excel. So it has to do with also my pocket. I'll be able to, but if I also want to go into land development, maybe land sales and all that, Ikorodu might also be likely because I can easily get more demand for that particular kind of property. But if I want to maybe generate good income, I'm beginning to look at maybe areas like Mushin, because areas like Mushin top the list in the mainland. Those are just the basic things that one just need to look at.
I was going to ask you the same question too. So what are the things I need to watch out for me to say, okay, let me do my investment in this place or not?
Okay, regardless of where it is, island, on the mainland, in Lagos. I said before, where is the government going? You must do your findings. After that, look at where the commercial activity is also trending to. Today, we realized that we have 3 major shopping malls along the Lekki Expressway. And I want to promise you in the next 2 years, 3 years from now, we may have 1 or 2 more. And that is trending, and that is in that access. By the time you begin to look at certain areas and look at what is happening commercially and with government's influence, you can decide on certain areas. That is 1. 2, you can also look at what is the demand like. And that depends on your pocket too, on the other hand. Because if people will ask me, a lot of people want to have a house in Lekki, people want to buy a house in VR, but they don't have the money. So you have to first of all check yourself and say, okay, how much do I have? How much am I ready to put down to do this thing? Now, like I used to tell people, no matter the money, no matter, even though it's small, start somewhere. You could start, I know someone who started in Abulegba, but today has a property in Lekki, phase 1. But he started somewhere. So you can move. If you say you want for cash flow reason, you can look at areas like what you just said. Look at Mushin where is heavily density. You know, it's so densified that you know because it's at the center of a lot of activity in Lagos. You can have, if it's rental, you could get. Is it for people that need shop for market-related issues? You can find. Is it an industrial? A lot of industries, factories are there. You could find. It makes Mushin a very unique place. I was wondering if normally somebody would say, why Mushin? Why not Surulere? Why Mushin? Why not Ikeja? But that tells you because of the capacity for people to get rental in this access. It could be that way too.
Okay. We'll quickly go on this short break. When we come back, we'll be mentioning those places that we have said earlier, on the places we'll be advising you to make your next investment. We'll be right back. Welcome back. So now we are into the main thing. What's the main thing? Like I said earlier in the show, we are going to be discussing 5 top places for you to do your next investment in Lagos. We've discussed different things. We've discussed on where the commercial viability of the area is. Make your investment. We also discussed where the government is moving or where the government is, also move your investment down there. So we are going to be mentioning those places. Top 5 places to do your investment in Lagos State, guys.
Well, like said earlier by everyone here, you know, it depends on exactly what you're looking at. Are you investing for investment, or you know, are you looking at it because you want to make rental money, or you want a place where you want to like probably hold for a while, you know, like as if it's how do I put it now, like hold a bond, so to say. You want to hold like a bond, you know. Then you look at.
But what was a bond?
When you talk about government bond now, shares, stuff like that. When you buy those ones, it appreciates and later you sell and all that. You know, that's what I'm looking at.
That's for capital gain.
Exactly. You know, so depending on the reason of your investment, depending on what you want to invest, depending on what you want, you know, and like has been said, I think probably truly, you know, if you're looking at rental value, people, surprisingly, places like Mushin are very high. You know, even at times more than places like Keja. You know, so those are the things that we look at. I, as a person now, you know, when people come to me and say they want a place for so and so, I have to go into the market too to go and know what exactly is happening in some areas. You know, and truly it has been discovered that places like Mushin is very high in rental, very high in rental. You know, and it's cheap if you want to buy houses. It's very cheap to get houses in Mushin.
Very cheap.
Yes,
very
it's
cheap, but
very
high in
cheap.
rent.
Yes.
Wow. But high in rent.
But high in rent.
Wow.
Was high in rent.
And it's a commercial hub.
Exactly.
Very, very.
So I'm very sure of that area. You know, and if you are looking at future investment now, capital gain, they're looking at places like the island.
Maybe after today now, the price may just jump up. Because
we mentioned Mushin almost 20 times, by the way. Okay, I was also going to quickly tell our viewers that you can be part of the show. All you need to do is to call the numbers right on your screen, and then we can answer your questions. I have the gang members in the house. They'll be willing to answer the questions. Okay, so where were we?
This week, I think based on demand pressure, the pressure of, oh, I want it quickly, I need it urgently. I know the other time we talked about emotional attachment to property, which you cannot rule out. That's also a way, that's also some of the things that drives people. So I want to be able to invest in the emotions of people so that I can take advantage of that market. Oh, I can bet you Yaba, Akoka is one place to look out for.
Are you serious?
Yes. Yaba, Akoka is one place to look out for, because you know that just have a property around that axis, you know that that property is going up, is going out. Now, why? Because there are institutions around that axis. And you know that student apartment happens to be one of the leading apartments all over the world, not just in Nigeria alone.
True.
So if you want to look at maybe something that you can, because you're looking at something that can generate cash flow, number one is Yaba, based from the research that has been conducted.
And then we have so many schools around there. We have Yaba College of Technology, we
So
have
many.
University of Lagos State, we have the Technical School, and so many others.
Then we also now look at maybe if we wanted to, maybe for rental, you start talking about maybe Lekki and all that. Then also Shomolu is also included in that list too. Where for rental, because people now move away from Yaba, because Yaba is now competing, because Yaba is competing favorably with properties maybe on the island.
The island, yes.
True.
And you know that, and you know, if you do your basic research, you find out that you go online to make a research for a particular property. That property maybe within the next 24 hours is gone in Yaba. Within the next 24 hours.
True.
So you have really properties that stay longer. I know that there are some properties that you can always ask maybe from property agent and the like that. You know that once you just put it out, you know people are going to come. So you are not looking at maybe extending having your cash flow postponed. You are looking at something that you want to generate quickly. You know,
okay, but in terms of just like for Mushin, that the property is cheap to buy but high to rent out. For Yaba, what's it like? Yaba, Akoka,
Yaba both ways is high. It's high to rent. It's high to rent. It's also high to buy.
Oh.
It's high also because of the demand pressure. Not everybody wants to live in Mushin. But if you own a property for commercial purpose, you know that you are going to make. That's why the Mushin property is low to buy but high in rental, because you always have, maybe you have some strings of shops or around your lock-up shops around that can easily go for, and people pay you on a monthly basis. It's also one of the reasons why, instead of people paying you on a yearly basis, you are calculating your rent on a monthly basis, which makes it even more expensive to rent as compared to. So if one looks at that, it makes you need to now look, okay, do I want to buy to live, or do I want people to live in it and all that? Yeah. So it makes it. Those are just. Alex,
what's your thought?
Yeah, we would like to look at a very different one, other than them, and I want to look at the island, particularly the Lekki Peninsula.
The island man.
Yes, you won't mind me. You won't mind me with that. The Lekki Peninsula is a very unique one. Now, what makes it unique is the fact that there are a lot of driving factors. Like I used to say, the external factor must be so strong than the internal factor, and that's what makes Lekki Peninsula very unique. Starts from the very beginning of Lekki Phase 1 down to the Ekpe axis. What you see is that you see strong institutes that drive that place and make it so formidable. For instance, you have the fact that the government is also working on the Lekki Free Trade Zone, which is a very strong factor.
And you still have to pass through Lekki Phase 1 in most cases.
There's no how you will not get there through Lekki Phase 1. You have the Lekki Airport coming anytime soon. You have a Lekki Deep Sea Port, who is also bringing these three things alone are strong economical, will give any state, talk of area, a strong economical value. And you know, at the time somebody was mentioning to my ear that they won't be surprised that if the Lekki Peninsula become a state on its own. Why? Because of the economical value it is given. Earlier when we were offline, Chidi was saying something about the fact that, that place alone, what government will be getting there because of what they are doing. And that makes it very viable. If you're looking at rental income, yes, right now it's futuristic. If you're looking at capital gain, that is where you are. Right now you may not look like it perfectly right. Why? Because Lekki Phase 1 is very prime. If you buy in Lekki Phase 1, mostly you are buying nothing less than 50 million if you want to buy. But rent, yes, also high. The truth is maybe 5 million and above and all of that, depending on the type of house you're going. But if you are going inside, you are going somewhere like Awoyaya, you are going somewhere like Abijo, you are going somewhere like Lakowe, you are going somewhere like Elenogbe and Eleko. These axes are much, much affordable when you buy. Moreover, because when you buy now cheap, what you do is that for capital gain, by the time you are selling in the next 5 years from now, you'll be selling at a very huge profit. Now, what makes it so promising is the fact that those factors I mentioned earlier would always make it an easy sell. Anytime, any day. And to not say it all, like I said earlier on, the commercial activities are moving there too. We are looking at ShopRite currently in the same axis. I learned there are more things are coming there.
About 3 ShopRites
already in that axis. Who tells you that rental income? At a point, there's a place that I know in Abijo that they do a rent for a 3-bedroom for 1.5 million naira per annum. Now, it tells you what is happening in this axis. They have school institutions there. Yes, some people will be wondering, Lagos Business School is there. Lagos Business School happens to be the best second best in Africa, after South Africa. Why? Because of what it's been doing. Do you know a lot of people who want hostel accommodation coming from abroad to come and school in LBS? A lot of people who want it. And that's what makes it actually so unique. My brother, you don't need to pay in Naira. In those guys are foreigners. If you pay in exchange rate, they will take it. So you can imagine the future of these axis. When I mean the future, I'm not saying 10 years from now. No, ma. No, sir. I'm saying 5 years. You'll be seeing serious activity. If you don't believe it, you can stay as a speculator and you'll be surprised.
Now I understand why we call you the island man. You were going to say something.
No, interestingly, we need to look at things from maybe knowledge perspective and do
market research
and do a proper market research. He has talked about making money in next 5 years, and we have also looked at maybe areas that can make you money now. You understand? So those are some of the things that we have looked at. Then maybe just add to his own perspective. Now, because early is, like I said last week, and I will also go to repeat. Early is cheap, late is expensive. Then there's also the part that you make money when you buy real estate, not when you sell. when you buy real estate, that's when you make money. You know that money is coming to you once you are ready to sell. So the day you buy, so it is better to buy. It's when you start making money. You may not have that money literally in your pocket, but you know that you just always smile when you see people because you know that you always make money. Now, what is happening around that Lekki axis, for example? There is a huge development going on around that side, and I think he mentioned that, and I think Victor too also mentioned that too. In terms of why is government moving towards that axis? Government is not moving into that axis because it just wants to develop certain areas. Currently, as I speak with you, it's not a speculation. It's not 40% of the free trade zone or the deep sea port is owned by the Lagos State government. Wow! And so you can just imagine the level of transformation that will be going on towards that axis. Billions are being spent. Dangote, who happens to be the richest man in Africa, is investing massively in that region. And so for anybody now, I told somebody that axis will generate 1/3 of Lagos wealth, minimum 1/3 of Lagos wealth, in terms of what Lagos will be generating. I do my statistics. The budget of Lagos is about 400. The revenue Lagos State generated in 2016 is about 436 billion naira. What that axis can generate is about $7 billion. And if you're $7 billion, which is much more than, if Lagos State were to estimate what Lagos State portion will be, it is more than the budget of Nigeria's current
so
budget.
therefore, I will quickly add, that means since the government is owning such a percentage of that area, it means definitely government presence will be definitely there. Government will like to put infrastructures there for its own, even if not for benefits of the community.
For its own benefit, but also
and ultimately for benefit of everybody.
Do you know the funniest thing about what we're saying? Is that the uniqueness about the Lekki Peninsula is that it's not only government that is even moving things there too. Even he mentioned the fact that people like Dangote, who is the richest man. Let me say this, and let me say it for record's sake. There is not even Dangote alone that is there. I can count more than 5 billionaires, Nigerian billionaires, who have massive investments in that axis. You mentioned Eleganza, but if I tell you more, you'll be surprised. And that tells you what is happening in that axis.
Okay, we have a caller in the house. Hello, Benga. Hello, Benga.
Good morning.
Good morning.
You were saying something about investing in proper spaces to invest in real estate.
Yes.
I'm asking, if I want to invest in real estate and I don't have money to build or to buy outside me, how else can I get to invest in some of these places without having to do it? Is there a way I can invest in real estate without being a builder?
Okay, thank you very much, Benga. Okay, so Benga is saying that how can he invest if he doesn't have the chunk, the total money, that's how can he invest in some of these places that we have mentioned?
Well, before the gurus in land investment talk, let me quickly say that.
Are you not a guru?
In documentation matters.
I'm a bloody lawyer.
Who told you you're a bloody lawyer?
Bloody lawyer that is making money. Okay, you wanted to quickly say something?
Yes, my understanding with this, particularly when the sum is huge, and when the property, particularly land, is also large, is there are ways that you can actually, you can have an arrangement, an understanding with the person that is selling or the people that are selling to be doing it in bits. Depending on what you have now and depending on what they are willing to take and how the time frame within which you can be making the payments. It's just about the jaw thing. You guys can talk about it and you can actually have a solid arrangement whereby you be paying it, maybe monthly or
installments.
Very well, that's it.
Okay, you wanted to say something?
I also think fine, it's a strategy, and I would say that real estate investing is a strategy. It's not just something that you just do because I don't have the money and I need to look at a way. Okay, I want to build investment. It's not something because some people. From my own thinking, some people just want to invest in high-end areas or an exciting location without looking at what their pocket really is. It may not work
like
that every time. It may not work like that every time. So I need to be able to, because I need to be able to be strategic in my investment. Jimo Ibrahim did not invest in the island first. He made money in business and pushed it into Egbeda, in Egbeda, Idimo axis before he invested. So I need to be, wherever I start from is my platform. We have mentioned certain areas. We have mentioned Ikorodu, we have mentioned Yumushin, we have mentioned Lekki and all that. So it's not left for me, okay, what do I have in my hand to be able to invest, and what location am I investing? And I said, like I said last week, an investor is not somebody who invests in a particular area because he likes the area. I don't need to like certain area. I don't need to like Ibejuleki. I just need to only like the cash flow I can generate from it. So it's just that, am I investing for cash flow, or am I investing for returns, or am I investing to live in? If I'm investing for returns, then I shouldn't be bothered about the area majorly, because I can own an investment in Ghana and also get returns from it. As long as I'm okay with the returns.
And any foreign currency, by the way.
Foreign currency.
Okay, but I was going to say something. There's something we have not even looked at, and I'm going to throw it to the house. The area of security. If I have to invest in an area, are you guys saying that I should not even think of security? I should just invest? Because I like the area.
Security in what sense now?
Security in terms of how secured is the environment, or the neighborhood, or the area is. No. Okay, for example, if I want to, like the way we've mentioned Mushin. If I want to invest in Mushin, I don't need to look at. Okay, sorry, hold on. We have a caller in the house. Hello, Promise.
Hello, good morning, guys.
Good morning, Promise. How are you today?
Very well, thank you. Lovely show.
Thank you very much.
I'm a strong advocate of real estate, so but I seem to have noticed that some of the prime areas, some of the areas people are mentioning are not prime. So how about an area for people who are low-income earners, people who are not earning so much, somewhere different from the Mushi and, of course, the Lekki that you have talked about? I know that a couple of areas just on your way out of Lagos, towards the Badagry axis, there are some areas around the Kotu, Ijegua, Baranje axis that are also very low at this moment. You can get a piece of land for as little as ₦1 million or even less. And the way that it skyrockets in price is just amazing, because I can tell you for a fact that there are people who I know that got properties there for 500,000 less than a year ago, and the same property is going for about 2 million on the outskirts of that town. So if you look at the map of that satellite axis, you realize that there's an area between satellite town and Ijegun that links up. And that whole area is opened up for people to go and purchase land. And trust me, you can get properties for 700, 1 million. I can tell you for a fact that Omonile is not an issue there. The moment you make your payment, because Omonile is a major issue that people have a problem with. Once you get your land and you make your basic payment to the owners of the community, nobody disturbs you. If you come back after 2 years to do another foundation, nobody's going to ask you for it. So I think we should also try and talk about some of these areas where low-income earners can also invest. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Promise. So, Promise is saying some of the places that we are mentioning, they are like the eyebrows areas that we should try and mention. Some places, especially for low-income earners who can easily have easy entry into real estate investment.
Let me come in.
So, Alex.
Promise. The truth is this. People say real estate, when we say real estate is affordable or real estate investment is affordable, doesn't necessarily mean it's cheap. And we need to be able to separate it. Moreover, if you want to invest in real estate, Trudy mentioned something that you have to be strategic. It's you being strategic that makes you cheap, or you can use the word affordable now. So how you do it and where you do it determines how you can do it. Yes, you may be wondering, I was about to say something before that, there are no places in Lagos that you can get, except maybe it's Ekpe, that you can get for, or Ina Badagry, that you can get for less than 5 million naira. Maybe 4 million, 5 million naira. That's the truth to buy. But the truth is this, for land, to buy a land now. But the truth is this.
No, there are still some cheap places.
No, they are still, that's why I said, except for those axes.
No, for a
regular plot, I mean.
Okay.
I'm not saying the outskirts, I'm saying in the center.
Okay, in the center.
Now, there's no way you will get all this. But the truth is how you carefully manage your investments is what makes you strategic. That's one. Two, he mentioned the fact that they are, we should talk about places they can invest with as little as
He also
nothing.
even mentioned some places. He mentioned some places from Satellite Town down.
Yes.
You know, incidentally, what we are discussing, sorry, sir, what we are discussing is the top areas to invest in. We are not discussing generic investment areas. If we are discussing generic investment areas, we would mention, but based on the demand pressure, we are not talking about based on the demand pressure, what you have now, that you know that people can easily come to pick it up immediately and you can generate cash flow from it. Those are the things that's the focus of this discussion, so that anybody who wants to make an informed decision can easily make an decision. So it's not that way we are stereotyping certain areas over other areas.
Okay, so we are not. Let me, for me to round up what I wanted to say, we are not stereotyping, obviously, but what I want him to understand is this: even though you have that little money, even though you have that 200,000 naira, there are ways you can even invest in that machine. There are ways you can invest in a Magudu if you want. There are ways you can invest in Lekki. All you need to do is to share your risk with other people. Imagine you have 200,000 and you have friends that are also having 200, and that's how much already? That's 2 million naira already on its own. My brother, we are on your way of making an investment, and you guys can make the money together. Now, you may not have the money on your own to go and buy those places or to invest in those places. But when you, like he said, you don't necessarily have to live in it. But when people say real estate investment, what they put in their money is living in it. There's a difference between investing for capital gain, and there's also a difference between investing for cash flow, and there's also a difference between when you are investing to live in it. So in this case, I want to emphasize how you can make money for cash flow, particularly. Then after, you can look at capital gain. These areas that we are talking about, put your resources together. Even though you don't have much, have guys that you can put your resources together, and you channel it towards a particular project and see if you will not make far more. Then you move from that stage to another stage later. Maybe another time you have more resources to move to a better one. That is how you strategically grow your real estate investment portfolio, rather than just waiting.
Okay, I'm still going to throw my question to the house, but we'll quickly go on a break. And when we come back, we'll continue with the discussion. We'll be right back. Welcome back. So like we all know, we've been discussing 5 top places to invest in Lagos State, and we really mentioned a lot of places. But then I was going to throw to the gang members, security-wise, in terms of my investing in locations or in area. We've not said anything about it.
Yes, quickly, you know, the new places that are just coming up are prone to insecurity in terms of you keeping your property, getting what you are paid for, you know. But in developed areas like Ikeja or Mushin or even in Dimu or Ikoton Axis or BI, those developed areas, or Ikoyi, you know, those areas, you know that when you buy, you are meeting what you have bought. In other words, it's easily secure. You know, it's safe. You can secure it. You understand what I'm saying? But if I'm looking at in terms of your person, for instance, everybody knows that Mushin is a very volatile area. You know, Ikoton could be very volatile. So people might want to, but if you are investing in those areas, if you are not living there yourself, then you don't have to look at, you know, consider that. Okay, you know?
Chidi.
In terms of if you are buying for investment, now I said people should see real estate as business. When you see real estate as business, you are not concerned. You should be concerned about security anyway. But what are the things that will what are the things that I need to do to be able to ensure that I don't run at a loss? Those are the things that I now need to look at, because there are certain things you can't control. There are certain external things you can't control. That's why sometimes you might also need to look at insurance and all that to be able to ensure that you insure your property in case of any issue of insecurity.
Okay, Alex, you're going to say?
Nothing much from what Chudi and Victor had said. It's just that the truth is this: when you say real estate investment, it means that you should begin to think about what would happen all those unforeseen circumstances, which is what you are referring to as security.
Yes.
Now, he said something about insurance. How many people in this country, when they invest, think about insuring their investment? If you do that, you won't be worried. Whether it's fire, just yesterday ago, 2 days ago, we heard about a house that was crumbled in a Lhasa. If you had insured that house, I'm sure the person wouldn't have made loss. We had issue of fire also during the week. The same house, another house. If you had insured over fire, you wouldn't have made that. So security could be in different ways. And if it's robbery too, you could also insure and you'll be safe. So if you look at it from that angle, I think one investment is very safe.
Okay. I'd like to take our final word. We are coming to the end of the show. So let me start with you, Alex.
Investment. Real estate investment is sweet where you know how to do it. Learn the rope and you will never regret it.
Okay.
Every area has tendency to grow. It's just for you to look at be specific as to what exactly is making that particular area grow and take advantage of that situation.
Victor.
Yes, my final take is that I'll tell you that one shouldn't dabble into what he does not know. So if you don't know, get people that know.
Okay, and that will be a wrap for the show this week. Top 5 places. We've mentioned so many places. If you started with us late, you can watch the repeat broadcast of the show on Monday night by 10 p.m. on R2 TV. You can also view it live on Go TV channel 112, or you can also download the app TV Now, and then download or click on R2 TV, and then you can watch it live. Until next week, this is the Property Gang Show.